All right, Diggs, we've wandered over to Fort Worth, and we are ready to start talking District 4, 5A, Division 1. It's always an interesting district because you never really know what is the actual cream that's going to rise to the top, because we got to figure out what that is. Last year was Saginaw. They had a team that was kind of built for last year, and they're hit by graduation. I don't think they'll be at number one this year, but who do you like in this district, and tell me why?
Well, if you remember last year, we were talking about, I thought I had Arlington Heights as my number one team. And Ward, you taught me something as a producer. If at first you don't succeed, try again. So we're going to hype up Arlington Heights again. And with three different Jameses on this team, how could you not be excited about them? It was kind of a weird situation last year. I know you don't always like the computer polls and whatnot, but Arlington Heights ended this district as the computer poll champion, despite losing to Saginaw in actual district championships. But they got just about everybody coming back. They got Kaden Grant, who threw for 1,700 yards and 18 touchdowns. And one thing I know you like, Ward, you like that touchdown to interception ratio. Yep. He only threw for 3 interceptions last year. So he's very smart with the ball, very heady. He's not going to make mistakes. He's not going to put Arlington Heights in a situation where he loses the game with a mistake. He also rushed for 12 touchdowns last year. So 30 touchdowns coming back. But Carson James ran for over 1,000 yards and also ran for 18 touchdowns. Ward, when you got 48 touchdowns coming back, I like you. I like you. And then you got three of your top 4 receivers coming back. And then you, on the defensive side of the ball, Kaden James, Carter James, on the defensive side of the ball, they are going to wreak havoc in this district. They are going to be the sack machine. Arlington Heights, I think, not only is a team that is built to perhaps win this district, I see 1 or 2 playoff wins in their future. I think Arlington Heights is kind of back to where they were a couple of years ago. They're going to be a problem. I've got them area ranked, and I'm excited about them. I think I remember you talking about Arlington Heights a couple of years ago and their coach being excited about the culture because kids are coming back. We're staying in the program. I think this year is what you're going to see when he was kind of talking about that. I'm excited about this Arlington Heights team.
They do look nice, and a team that I'm specifically excited about is also from Fort Worth ISD is OD Wyatt, because of one guy only, Jaworski Lane. I feel like I've been talking about him all the time, and I am, because he's number 3 or 4 ranked baseball player in the nation. Like, he's a stud at baseball, such a good stud that they Coach Chris waits for him a couple of weeks into the season to finish off his summer tour of baseball, not even playing for the school, but playing for, his AAU, whatever the equivalent is to that, because he's that good of a weapon at the quarterback position. Now he's back.
It was really weird last year because, when we go to Bobby V's, I get to talk to the other coach, Chris, and we're always talking about OD Wyatt. And OD Wyatt last year was a very hard luck team in this district because they lost to Saginaw and Pasco by 2. They're just thinking like, man, if we could have just gotten one of those wins, we were in the playoffs. Now, Arlington Heights did take them out to the woodshed and took care of them, but they beat Chisholm Trail last year. So this is a team that didn't make the playoffs, who 3 of the 4 teams that did make the playoffs, they either won or lost by 2 against 3 of those 4 teams. And they got a lot of that infrastructure back. And this district, I think, is really coming down to defense. And when I'm looking at what Arlington Heights is coming back defensively, and when I look at what OD Wyatt is coming back defensively, with Tyrese Garland and Isaac Bukasa, they are really loaded on the defensive side of the ball. And then on the offensive side of the ball, you talked about Jaworski Lane. He is such a talented player. He can make things happen, and he's such a heady guy. You talk about his baseball skills. He is a smart kid, and this is somebody, he doesn't make mistakes either. He's going to distribute the ball. He's not going to take a dumb hit. He's going to, make sure he is making smart plays. I like OD Wyatt to finally get through and make the playoffs this year as well. And again, I'm excited about Jaworski Lane. I got to find a way to see an OD Wyatt, maybe an OD Wyatt versus Arlington Heights game Thursday night at Farrington Field. Make it happen for ISD.
There you go. What do you think about Chisholm Trail there? Because they got a talented running back coming back too with William Quintana.
Yeah, William Quintana with 1,140 yards and 15 touchdowns last year. And they got Ethan Westover as well. So they got a lot of running coming back. I think in a lot of districts, and I know Coach Peters, the former coach at Saginaw, criticized us for being a little bit too hard on these teams last year. But I think if Chisholm Trail were in 3-5A, what we talked about last week, we're probably talking about them in that second tier and probably not making the playoffs. In this district, we're going to talk about them making the playoffs. I think Coach Holmes and what he has done to try to build the culture over there, he has been gifted a perfect district to build that, because I don't think next year he's going to be as lucky when we have realignment. I think he's going to probably be pushed over into more of those tougher teams, playing Brewer and Azel and teams like that. So I think that this is his chance to, again, kind of go back to back and make the playoffs. Last year, they lost to Aledo in the playoffs very convincingly. So I think you kind of see the difference between 3-5A and 4-5A. But with the players he's got coming back, especially Quintana, Jordan Freeman is a very talented receiver. I got to see who they have coming back at quarterback. I think there's a quarterback battle coming over there because they graduated a very good senior. So relative to this district, I think they're a playoff team, but still, I don't have them ranked in my top 15 to start the year.
Who do you got battling for the other playoff spots? Because I didn't like Pasco in other districts, but I love them in this one. They proved themselves last year. And we talked about Saginaw a little bit. Talk to me who you think is going to battle it out here.
Yeah, Saginaw was one of those teams. I got a big swing and miss last year. I whiffed on it, Ward, because I just didn't see Saginaw coming. We talked about them in the district breakdown last year because they looked like they had some offensive talent that was just getting completely manhandled last year. But I saw it coming back. But I didn't realize they were going to go 11-0 and just have the run that they did. But they graduated everybody, like you said. They have only got two players that I've got noted. Vincent Gonzalez, I got to watch him for whatever reason. They sat their quarterback for the first quarter when I was watching them against Arlington Heights, so I got a chance to watch Vincent Gonzalez. So they got a little bit of quarterback there. I think he's a good player. They got a really talented wide receiver in Bose Coloso coming back, but everybody else is gone. And from what I'm seeing in their underclasses, I think they're going to have to retool and rebuild. I actually don't have them making the playoffs because I really like what Pascal has coming back. Deshaun Thomas, what a quarterback this guy is. 1,374 yards, passing with 11 touchdowns. Rush for 600 yards. He's a dual threat, 16 touchdowns. Michael Guerrero is coming back, a very talented wide receiver. I think Pascal against Saginaw. I like Pascal right now, so I've got Pascal just over Saginaw. Saginaw was like the team of the year last year, the team we were all talking about. And what am I doing, Ward? I'm already burying them. We're giving them flowers and they're gone. Like, I'm not letting them make the playoffs this year. The district champion, Ward, some disrespect. I'm throwing.
Can't even breathe, and you hit them over the head with a shovel. They just have them, can't even get out of their weight training, and you shoveled them out. All right, we got four more teams in there, and our boys used to be Northside a couple 2-3 years ago, but it looks like they're kind of trending maybe a little downward. And we still got South Hills and Trimble Tech in there. Talk to me about how you think those guys and those Poly Parrots are going to do.
Northside could get better than Saginaw this year. I mean, it's really close. I think Saginaw is dropping. Trustin Holland coming back at Northside is going to be huge. 878 yards, 8 touchdowns. He also rushed for 590 yards and 9 touchdowns. And Northside is just one of those teams. They've got a good culture over there that's been built up. So I think Northside is a dangerous 6 seed. Poly was a team that surprised everybody last year. Billy Johnson at quarterback, he'll be back. Trimble Tech's got their quarterback coming back, and Alexis Salcedo. And Forest South Hills has a really talented running back in Douglas Cook, who rushed for over 600 yards. Juan Martinez, quarterback, coming back for South Hills as well. So I think the bottom of this district is going to be more competitive in general. I think you can see any one of those teams maybe even get up to the 5 seed. I think there's a pretty big gap with Pascal. I don't think any of those 4 teams are going to challenge Pascal for a playoff spot, but I think they can be competitive with each other and play a lot closer to the top, maybe 14 to 21 points instead of 63-7 kind of games like we've seen in the past.
What are you looking at 1 through 9 here?
Number 1, I got Arlington Heights. They're a very dangerous team this year. I've actually got Chisholm Trail number 2. I got O.D. Wyatt number 3, Fort Worth Pascal number 4, Saginaw 5, Northside 6, Poly 7, Trimble Tech 8, and South Hills, the Scorpions, number 9.